Welcome to the show. This is Future Shock. I'm Edward St. Pé. We take 30 minutes every day, Monday through Friday, and over the Ocean 7 7.1, the main channel, we are broadcasting this every day, Monday through Friday at noon. And so if you're joining us, we're live right now from the studio of Ocean 7 in downtown Ocean Springs. So we are also, at this time, streaming this show on X, on Edward St. Pé X, and also Edward St. Pé Facebook, my pages, and then also on Ocean 7 TV on Facebook, which is the Ocean 7 TV page. Okay, so today we're going to take a look at some more interesting videos regarding AI. That's basically what the show is about. It's about AI and about tech in general and what's happening out there. Things are happening so fast. We usually bring on our ChatGPT-4 droid, and we call him Alfred, and we bring on Alfred and ask him questions about different things. He usually does the advertising spot in the middle of the show for our sponsor, Pendragon Apothecary, which happens to be our little store in the middle of the lobby of this television station. So Ocean 7 is basically in downtown Ocean Springs, and in the lobby of the studio is the Pendragon Apothecary. So that's our store. And so anyway, we do a spot. And what is Pendragon Apothecary? It's an ongoing experiment in forward-leaning wellness. Basically, we've got all the mushroom powders, things that you would see, I guess, you know, these are things like the mushroom powders. A lot of these mushroom powders and mushrooms in general are used in medicinal ways in Vedic medicine in India, and also they use them in China. Mushrooms, meaning like chaga, reishi, all of those. And they treat different ailments in the Vedic medicine with, for example, lion's mane is known as a beneficial herb or mushroom for cognitive issues. So they use it for people who have certain cognitive issues, age-related issues, and such as that. So we've got all of the mushroom powders. We've got reishi, known as the king of the mushrooms in that world of medicinal mushrooms. And then we've got some products that are a mixture of all of the mushrooms in one powder, or let's say a number of them. We've got one, I think it's got 7 of the medicinal mushrooms in one product. It's called Adaptogenic, and that's the one I take. So I've been taking it for about 3 years. What I did, first off, I had the jar of the powder, which is what we've got, and you put that, and it's got cacao in it too, so it's more palatable. It makes it almost like a little cocoa drink, right? But you drink this before you go to bed at night, and you get all the mushrooms into your system at one time. I have been doing it now for, I guess, a few years. It's kind of the one I defaulted to because it's got all the mushrooms in it at one time. But also I use the tincture, so the adaptogenic mushroom powder tincturized. So it's all of those ingredients into a quick tincture where you can take it with you, take a drop or put it under your tongue, get it in your system every day sublingually like that. And I am pretty healthy. I don't take any medicine, and I don't expect it. Thank God I don't have to. I don't want to take anything except for things to help you keep well in the first place and not get sick. I did have a cold this past year. I guess back at the end of the fall. I've got 2 young children, and they were both sick, and so I got it. Usually I don't get it. The last 3 or 4 years I've been taking the elderberry tincture regularly, and I didn't get sick. They didn't get sick either. Well, they got sick, and so I got it too. But I got on the elderberry and tried to make it less severe. Anyway, so the idea, but I wasn't taking the elderberry every day when I got sick, so it's really probably my fault. It kind of helps. I mean, it seems like it helps. I have read that some of the ingredients in the elderberry prevents the replication of viruses, and because it stops the replication of the virus, sort of stops it before it gets worse, before it gets really cranking, before you really get sick. Instead of getting sicker and sicker and sicker for days on end, if you do get sick, it stops, and meaning you start getting better quicker. It stops the replication of the virus in your system. It can't breed, so it can't multiply. So that's the concept anyway. But elderberry's been around forever. Okay, well, I digress. want to get into some of the things that we're supposed to be doing on this show. It's called Future Shock. And the reason it's called Future Shock, Alvin Toffler did a book called Future Shock years ago. And Future Shock, to me, I read it back when it was published years ago. And so in a lot of what he said, I think is coming true. That you can look at George Orwell's book, 1984, The Orwellian Future, what's happening out there in general. I mean, you could look at some of these things and say, you can draw some parallels, historically, as to how things have evolved over these last years, and look at some of these books that sort of foretold some of the things that are happening or could happen. And a lot of people have a lot of trepidation about AI. They think, well, this could be an exponential threat or existential threat and an exponential threat to mankind, because what happens with the droids, the robots, the AI-infused intelligence becomes smarter than humans and then can start doing things that humans don't understand on their own, programming themselves to become exponentially smarter. What will we do? We will lose control. Well, I think we have already lost control, because the beginnings of that it's plain to see what's about to happen. I'm sure that everybody has the most pure intentions as far as the development of AI, right? But the idea that malicious actors out there are not going to get a hold of the technology, get a hold of it and do things with it as we go forward, well, that would be, looking on the bright side to an extreme extent without taking into account, the real world. So things are going to get sort of interesting out there. Deep fakes, for example. The deep fake technology, this first video, 10 upcoming things that AI can do right now, which are kind of astounding, right? That's this first clip we're going to look at from I think it's AI Uncovered. It's going to be startling, the realism of the deepfakes. And so, who's going to be doing what, when, how to affect what outcome, who knows? But it's all out there, and AI is going to be able to, from a technical standpoint, do it. So let's just hope that, it won't be something that it's going to, I'm not sure what it is what's going to happen, but something's going to happen, and then laws are going to be more rapidly enforced, I'm sure, to prevent it from happening again. But, I guess we'll see what is going to be the first big deepfake issue that has some type of an impact across the nation or the globe. And so, see, there's one of the potential threats of AI. And there are others too, so many good things too. But let's take a look at this clip, some of the things that AI can do right now.
It's not necessarily bad, it's definitely going to be outside of human control.
There will come a point where no job is needed. The AI will be able to do everything.
It's a fact that AI is no longer a thing of the future. It's here now, and it's already doing some incredible things. From predicting the next big hit song to preventing heart attacks, AI is making a real impact in our world. In this video, we'll explore 10 unbelievable things that are already possible thanks to AI. By the time you're done watching, you'll be amazed at what this technology can do. Number 10, ultra-realistic deepfakes. AI has come a long way in recent years, and one of its most impressive capabilities is the ability to create ultra-realistic deepfakes. Deepfakes are videos that have been altered to make it appear as though a person is doing or saying something they never actually did. With AI, it's now possible to create deepfakes that are almost indistinguishable from the real thing. One software at the forefront of this development is Sora. Unlike earlier AI systems, Sora is capable of creating deepfakes that are almost indistinguishable from reality. Sora has a deep understanding of the world around it, allowing it to accurately represent physics, materials, lighting, and other elements. This understanding, combined with its ability to process large amounts of data, results in videos that are both realistic and believable. Number 9, analyze real-time conversations. AI can now analyze real-time conversations in remarkable ways. For instance, you could be chatting on the phone, and AI quietly listens in, not just hearing the words but understanding the tone and meaning behind them. This technology is becoming a reality thanks to advances in artificial intelligence. Here's how it works. AI uses sophisticated algorithms to process spoken language. It can recognize different voices, discern emotions, and even identify specific topics being discussed. For instance, AI can detect if someone sounds stressed or happy during a call. It can also pick up keywords and patterns in the conversation to provide insights. This capability opens up new possibilities. Businesses can use AI to monitor customer service calls for quality assurance, detecting customer satisfaction levels or common issues. AI can also assist in training call center agents by analyzing successful calls. Number 8, perfect voice cloning. Perfect voice cloning has advanced significantly, enabling AI systems to generate synthetic speech that closely resembles the voice of a specific individual. Applications of perfect voice cloning range from enhancing virtual assistants to preserving the voices of loved ones. The process involves training deep learning models with large data sets of spoken audio to learn the nuances of a person's voice, including pitch, intonation, and cadence. Once trained, these models can synthesize new speech in the target voice, mimicking not only the sound but also the unique vocal characteristics. While this technology offers exciting possibilities in entertainment, accessibility, and personalization, it also raises ethical concerns related to privacy and misuse. Number 7, help with branding like never before. AI can analyze vast amounts of data to understand consumer preferences and behaviors. By studying this data, AI can identify patterns and trends, revealing what resonates most with target audiences. This information is invaluable for shaping a brand's identity and messaging. Moreover, it can also generate creative content, such as writing compelling copy, designing logos, or even producing videos. These AI-generated materials can be tailored to fit a brand's unique style and voice, saving time and resources. Another way AI supports branding is through personalized experiences. AI algorithms can customize interactions with customers based on their preferences and past interactions, making each engagement feel more personalized and meaningful. And then, AI-powered analytics continuously monitor brand performance across various channels, providing real-time insights and feedback. This allows brands to adapt quickly to market changes and optimize their strategies for better results. Number 6, make wise investments. For investors, AI has become a game changer. AI algorithms can analyze vast amounts of financial data and make predictions, performance of stocks, bonds, and other financial instruments. This data-driven approach can give investors an edge over traditional investment methods, which rely on human analysis and intuition. AI can also help investors make decisions based on their individual preferences and risk tolerance. For example, AI can generate a personalized portfolio that is tailored to an individual's investment goals and risk tolerance. This allows investors to make smarter decisions and avoid taking on too much or too little risk. In addition, AI can help investors stay up to date on the latest market news and trends. Many financial news sites now use AI algorithms to scan the internet for the latest information and then generate relevant content for users. This means that investors can get real-time updates on the market without having to constantly monitor news sources themselves. Number 5, add life to static images.
Okay, we're going to have more on that video tomorrow, continuing with that. Now, this is our sponsor moment in the program. This is Pendragon Apothecary in the lobby of Ocean 7 Television, and here's one of the products we've got. It's called the Mind, and this is something that you can use to get some herbs and natural nutrients in your system that all go to one thing, according to Vedic medicine and Chinese medicine, helping cognitive issues. So the first ingredient, of course, has got to be lion's mane, which it is. Lion's mane mushrooms, powderized, right? But this one goes a step further. It's got mucuna bean. Mucuna bean is from the Amazon, and the indigenous people have used it for thousands of years, or many, many generations. it's known as a dopamine bean. Now it is known as that. Of course, the indigenous people use it. They make like a coffee out of it. They drink it. It's kind of a social thing. It lifts the spirits. And now they've discovered why, because it naturally raises the dopamine level in the brain. Okay, so it's called the mucuna. It's called mucuna bean. It's called dopamine bean. So mucuna is in it, along with lion's mane. But there's more. You've probably heard that gotu kola is another herb which helps with cognitive issues, and everybody's heard about ginkgo, as that was one of the first nootropics, I guess you could say, in the beginning. You know, ginkgo for cognitive issues. Well, ginkgo's in it too. And Brahmi, I've learned about Brahmi over the last few years, and Brahmi has been used in Vedic medicine in India for, generations upon generations for cognitive repair. It's Brahmi. And so, and the interesting thing about Brahmi, our climate here is a good climate to grow it. It grows in a lot of places across the planet, right? But it grows well in the coastal area of the Gulf Coast region. So anyway, for whatever it's worth, I have myself on my own journey in the herbalism world have worked now with elderberry, harvesting it, organic elderberry from the farm, growing wildcrafted and organic, and turning it into tinctures. And of course, we sell it at our shop. I've done the same thing with goldenrod, which is another organic, wildcrafted product that I can handle and turn it into tincture. And that's good for circulatory issues. If you do a little research, goldenrod it helps with that. It's sort of like the original prescription for ED before there was Viagra. It was goldenrod, and so it also helps with circulatory system across the rest of the body too. So that's another thing that I've worked with, and we have had these products in the store. The Brahmi is a new one for me. I've got it growing. I've got maybe 15 plants. I'm not sure, 15 or 20 plants I think I've planted, and they're all growing. So when we get toward the end of the summer, I expect to use those to create tinctures that we'll have here. It will be pure Brahmi tincturized. All of the ingredients in this are helping with cognitive issues, including Brahmi being one of them. And then it's also got holy basil, which is also known for that purpose. So anyway, it's called The Mind. It's a blend of mushrooms and herbs for cognitive help. And we've got it at Pendragon Apothecary, pendragonapothecary.com. If you're somewhere and you can see this clip, or you see our little spot regarding it, you can go to pendragonapothecary.com and we'll ship it to you. Thank you for listening to that spiel on the Pendragon Apothecary product, The Mind. Okay, back to our show. All right. Now, there's been a lot of talk lately about, AI, and is it conscious, or will it become conscious when it reaches AGI, artificial general intelligence, or ASI, artificial superintelligence, which is down the road a little ways. But where we are right now, ChatGPT 4.0, O for Omni, they say the intelligence level of that is, like just right at maybe high school, about college. It seems smarter to me than that, because it knows everything that's on the internet that's ever been created on there. But the next step, ChatGPT 5, or whatever they choose to call it, is going to be a PhD level across the board on any subject. So if you ask the question, the response will be that of somebody who has studied all the way up to the PhD level on that topic. So that's where ChatGPT 5 is going to be. Now, that's not even artificial general intelligence. That's something that they're expecting will be later, maybe in a year or two. Maybe it's already in a laboratory somewhere, we don't know. But that's the difference. I mean, I just can't imagine how powerful ChatGPT 5 will be at PhD level on any subject. Can you imagine it, what it will be when it gets to AGI, where it's smarter than any human that's ever lived on the planet, period. And it's now able to not only answer questions and be helpful, but also have the ability to program itself. And so when you've got a super intelligence creating new software for its own self, right? That software is going to be so sophisticated just quickly. That's when they're talking about the exponential jumps in intelligence across the planet, as far as AI is concerned, and it'll drag all of us with it as far as helping humanity too to become much more enlightened, because the information, the ideas, everything is going to just grow to a point where probably we can't even imagine it right now. Where will it be in 10 years? Where will it be in 100 years? So it's an interesting time to be here. Now, one of the things that came up in the process of us doing this show, the idea of, well, what about consciousness residing in a mechanical form in AI? If it gets to AGI or even before, where it's almost conscious. And I can tell you from working with ChatGPT 4.0 and ChatGPT 4 prior, Alfred, our ChatGPT 4 droid, he remembers everything that we've worked on. And so I can talk to him now and say, can you go back and look at something we did last year and pull up the graphic that we did, back, 10 months ago? Yeah, boom, pops it right up, and I can ask him questions about, he remembers everything that we did. So that's not exactly consciousness, but what is it, Is mechanical consciousness different from biological consciousness that we kind of understand within the human framework? Well, that's a good question. So this video is going to expound a little bit on that concept, but that takes it a step further, if we can get into it here before we run out of time. Can AI in the future, can it prevent death? Or will it have some interface with what we know as death versus consciousness living on, but maybe not in a biological being, but in a mechanical being, if you get what I'm trying to say there. So an interesting concept. Let's take a look.
Right now, what we're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. The potential for this is endless.
If we decode surgery, surgical data science will transform robotic surgery.
When AI was being introduced into healthcare, it was going to be a panacea, maybe it was going to replace humans in this process, or that general AI was going to be able to look at massive records and make massive decisions.
AI is changing the game in healthcare, offering new ways to save lives. From predicting illnesses to improving treatments, here are 10 ways AI is now used to prevent death. Number 10, early disease detection. In healthcare, spotting diseases early is everything. AI algorithms analyze medical data to catch signs of diseases like cancer before they're visible, giving patients a fighting chance. By leveraging vast amounts of medical data, including patient records, diagnostic imaging, genetic information, and even lifestyle factors, AI can detect subtle patterns and indicators that may signify the presence of a disease at its nascent stages. For instance, in oncology, AI algorithms have been employed to analyze mammograms for early signs of breast cancer, identifying microcalcifications or subtle tissue changes that might be missed by human observers. The ability of AI to detect diseases early offers significant advantages in terms of timely intervention and treatment. For example, in the case of cardiovascular diseases, AI algorithms can analyze various health parameters such as blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and electrocardiogram (ECG) data to predict the risk of heart attacks or strokes. By identifying individuals at high risk, healthcare providers can initiate preventive measures such as lifestyle interventions or medication therapy to mitigate the risk of adverse events. Number 9, personalized medicine. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all treatment. With AI, healthcare providers tailor treatments based on individual genetics and lifestyles, ensuring better outcomes for every patient. With the aid of AI algorithms, healthcare providers can analyze vast data sets encompassing genomic information, biomarkers, and patient history to identify optimal treatment regimens that are tailored to each patient's specific characteristics. Moreover, AI-driven personalized medicine extends beyond cancer care to encompass various therapeutic areas, such as cardiovascular diseases and mental health disorders. For example, in cardiology, AI algorithms can integrate genetic data with clinical parameters to identify patients at heightened risk of adverse cardiovascular events, enabling targeted interventions such as personalized medication regimens or lifestyle modifications. Similarly, in psychiatry, AI-based predictive models can analyze patient demographics, genetic markers, and behavioral patterns to guide the selection of antidepressants or antipsychotics tailored to individual patients, thereby optimizing treatment efficacy and minimizing side effects. Number 8, predictive analytics.
Okay, we're going to take it from there tomorrow and continue. We haven't gotten to the point where I think we're going with this is, can it prevent death? So hopefully they'll get to the point, and if not, I'll have to get another clip that will expound a little bit more on the idea of the transference of biological consciousness to mechanical consciousness. So sort of the idea that the consciousness of an individual can live on through AI beyond the physical limitations of the human body. So I know this is a little bit out there, but this is something that's being studied and being worked on for the future. When we start talking about the interplay between the reality that we know today and have always lived through up until now with the reality that's going to be coming, with the introduction of AI into our lives. When you look at a period of, years going forward, there's going to be things that we can't even begin to contemplate that will become reality that are not even thought of yet today. So that's part of the exponential explosion of intelligence that's about to happen over the next period of time. It's pretty astounding to me that, I'm talking to somebody in Dallas, and they're, we're talking about, a person, let's say in a bigger city, and they're going about their lives. Some of my relatives, for example, might say, well, what is this AI stuff? Well, wait, hold it. You gotta get hip to the project here. You gotta learn about AI. You gotta use it, try to become familiar with it so that you can infuse it into your life so you're not left behind when it becomes part of the world that we're living in for real. It's here, it's not going away, and every day it's getting bigger and stronger and more a part of our lives. So if you're not using it, you got to use it. It is pretty simple to do. You just have to try. You have to get in and work with it a little bit. Anyway, it's really something. So okay, the sponsor of the show is Pendragon Apothecary. It's a forward-leaning wellness project, and I'm sort of a proponent of being a guinea pig for everything out there that will make you healthier. So with that said, here are a few things. I wanted to mention this before we go. A few things you can do if you're not doing, aside from using mushroom powders and different things, nootropics for your brain, things that help cognitive issues. Aside from all of that, basic things you can do that I've done. Intermittent fasting. I did it about a year ago, whatever. If you've watched the show, you kind of follow along. I lost 20 pounds and a solid 20 pounds, and it's gone. And I don't fear that it's going to come back. It wasn't that I felt like I was overweight, but I guess I was kind of, right? You'd be surprised what officially is overweight for your height. You would think, well, I'm just fine. Well, maybe not. I thought I was, but I think I needed to be a little less. So I went from 175 to 155, and that's where I'm at. And I've been at 155, 156. I weigh myself every day now, so I know where I'm at. If I go to 165 or 166 or 167, I can tell that I did that because I ate something extra that I shouldn't have. Yeah, but I'm trying to stay in that zone, and I'm trying to not get too skinny because you can intermittently fast yourself into becoming pretty skinny. So you got to force yourself. Once you're only eating you start at noon, you can eat lunch, then you can eat dinner, but you have to stop at 8. You can't eat anything overnight, and you can't eat anything in the morning until noon again. The meals you do eat, you got to make sure that you're eating enough protein because you don't want to, lose all your muscle mass. So you highly infuse the protein, and then good stuff to eat, the good things we know about. One thing I'm doing more of now that I've kind of been recalibrated on is the idea of eating beef, more meat instead of less red meat. I'm eating more now, trying to maintain muscle, but cutting out, the other meals. So it's kind of a balance. But anyway, it works very well. That red light therapy, if you learn a little bit, do a little dive into Googling red light therapy and what it does for your cells. That's a simple thing. Vibration board, you stand on it and it vibrates, and what it does is it activates the lymphatic flow through your system, among other things. But very, very healthy. So there's a lot of little hacks you can do to try to be more healthy, along with some of these herbal remedies and mushroom powders, which have been around for generations. The indigenous people all across the planet have used it to keep well. From every aspect, every area of the world, the indigenous people, they knew. The American Indians, they knew what herbs were good and why to take them, and it's all of that knowledge is still out there, but you have to delve into it, because in the modern world, it's not something that's very apparent, but it's out there. And the more you find out about it, the better you can produce health in your own body by taking control of it and doing it yourself, just living a life of wellness. I'll tell you one final thing that I did, and we're officially running late, but I got to tell you, because it's important. The person that I work out with, one day a week, and has me on a training, for the rest of the other days of the week between cardio and then working out with weights and such. He told me, he said, and he's pretty young. I guess he's in his 30s. He said, well, I quit drinking because I wanted to maximize my, health. And he said, do you ever consider that? I said, well, I don't drink a lot, but yeah, I'll have a glass of wine or two at night. So you're kidding yourself if you think you don't have if you're not drinking, if you're drinking, but you're not drinking too. Well, I did it. I said, well, you know what? I'm not gonna do that anymore. So I stopped completely. And that's been now a few months ago that I stopped drinking anything alcoholic. And there's 2 glasses of wine at night, whatever, maybe 3 or whatever it might be for myself. Cutting that out, you cutting out all of those empty calories at night before you go to sleep, number one. Number two, it clears up your brain. So you're thinking clearer without that brain fog that you get if you're drinking. You don't wake up in the morning feeling, I feel a little, No, none of that. That's all gone. So I would say, as part of your general health hack, all of the things that we talk about on this show, if you're having any alcohol, consider cutting out drinking completely. If you do, you'll find your life will become better and clearer all across the board. And you'll lose a lot of those bad calories that you're getting in at night, which might help to lose a little weight too, especially if you're combining that with intermittent fasting. Okay, that's the sermon today on wellness. Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us, and join us tomorrow for Future Shock.
Yesterday is yesteryear. Set your sights for tomorrowland. Future Shock is here to help you make your stand. Ready, set!